the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Friday. Glad that you have joined us and glad that you tune us in throughout the week and whenever it is, morning, noon, afternoon, whatever, at night. We appreciate you always finding us here on the Auburn Blitz Podcast. Faith and I are glad to welcome in our good friend, Uncle T-Bone, Wade Bennett, here on the show. It's been a minute, Wade. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, good to be seen. Glad to be back. Thank you so much on this beautiful spring Friday morning. The storms came through. It looks like it's going to clear up over the weekend, and going to watch a little bit of the Masters and some spring football around the country, right?
Yeah, this is a fun time of year. Faith, again, you and I were out and about. I don't know how long yesterday was. It was a long day for us. I think you and I were both spent at the end yesterday, but we're glad to have Wade. And with that being said, I will kick it to you and let you talk about some of our partners here, starting with obviously Sensagreen.
Well, that's the one we like the most, right? For air that's cool and clean, get HVAC smart and call Sensagreen. Heating, cooling, and insulation, servicing all up and down the I-85 corridor from Pike Road to LaGrange, down to Columbus, and up to beautiful Lake Martin and Alex City. And then we also cover the Huntsville area, East Alabama's premier carrier dealer. We've got dollar days will end up in at the end of April, and there are tremendous savings right now for repairments, for insulation services that we do. A lot of companies don't do that. We do a great job of it. And if you need that new HVAC system or that ductless mini split on that sunroom or porch up at the lake, give us a call. We've got up to $2,000 off right now with our Professor Greenbacks on some systems, but huge savings. So for air that's cool and clean, call Sensagreen, www.sensagreen.com.
I'm glad we're not the only ones that mess that up sometimes.
Coffee ain't kicked up yet, right?
Hey, we'll take it. Faith, I'm kicking this to you. Yesterday was awesome. We love
Yeah, we were at Bunkers yesterday, and going there for good food, good times, good people. We love going to Bunkers. I always talk about their steak sliders, but that's just my own personal favorite. Got to go there, and it's Masters Week. They've got Masters specials going on, happy hour deals too, and just going there and renting out a bay with some of your friends and watching the Masters, trying to see if, you can even compete with anybody in the Masters. But yeah, we have so much fun. We love everybody over at Bunkers, and make sure this weekend that you can go over there and watch the Masters, get some good food, and have some of their drink specials.
There's not a better place to go watch the Masters. I can't think of one outside of being in Augusta. Might as well just go to Bunkers. Everybody can't get in Augusta, so go to Bunkers. They'll let you in. I promise. You have a great time over there. We'll get to some more of our partners here in just a minute. Wade, I'll kick over here just a second to you, but I'm going to go to Faith first because she and I were at practice yesterday. And Faith, you and I were very impressed with some of the things that we saw. A lot of encouraging things. I'll start on the defensive side of the football. A few of the guys that stood out to us, I'll let you start.
Anquan Fagans is who really stood out to me. We talked about his IQ level of just being able to read what's going on with what the offense is doing. And before it was that Deuce Knight hadn't thrown an interception in all of practice is what everybody was saying. And we saw yesterday that came to an end because of Anquan Fagans. And he's just able to read what's going on, and you can't coach that in somebody. That's a natural gifted talent. And it's hard because when you see them at the younger level in high school, you don't know if they're going to be able to put that out in the SEC in a big conference like this with good teams. And he's able to still do that at this level. And so I have loved watching him and seeing what he's been able to do just in spring. And I know that when it comes to actual fall time and the season starts, that he's going to be a menace out on the field.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. Wade, I don't know how much you've been able to read or hear about Anquan Fagans, but Faith and I have seen up close and personal now 3 times at practice. What a great player he is, and I knew it coming out of high school. You know, we cover it, and we got a Thompson pipeline going. Coach Freeman was at practice yesterday from Thompson. They had several guys there, I think 9.
Wow.
Watching Trent Seaborn was there. A lot of guys that you want that are coming up in the next couple of years. But Anquan, and we'll just stick with him for a minute. Anquan Fagans is ahead football IQ wise at his age level. And there was a particular play, Wade, a couple practices ago that we were at that, you know, it looked like Jackson Arnold made a bad throw. And it was like we were talking, we were, man, that was just a bad read. And then we started looking at it and we were talking to some of the coaches, and it wasn't. It was just Anquan Fagans baiting him into that throw and being able to react in time. Most would not have been able to make that play. So, man, that is so encouraging. Then I know, Faith, you and I didn't talk about Eric Winters much from Enterprise. We did see him back there. So you got 2 guys that are freshmen in that secondary, Wade, that are really going to add a bunch this year to this football team.
Well, you look across the board, you know, offense, obviously with Hugh Freeze past and, you know, his former reputation, I think that he needs to regain here this season of putting up some gaudy numbers and in points also, especially against big time opponents. Gets a lot of the accolades, a lot of the attention. I mean, you know, obviously with the receivers that continue to come in and you know, let's just face it. I mean, you hire somebody like Hugh Freeze, or at least you thought you did. It's kind of, this is going to be a high flying offensive team. But the thing that's going to carry Auburn this season until that offense gets going, and has basically carried Auburn not to winning seasons, but just kept them in games the past couple of years, is this defense. And there is more talent over there on that defensive side of the ball than I have seen. And it's young talent with a mix of a few older guys. It's hard to believe that Keldrick Falk is considered an older guy now, and even Malik Lockton on the defensive line. But you continue to bring these guys in the transfer portal that can plug a few holes. But it's a young, aggressive, athletic, high-flying defense, and it's very heady in the defensive backside with young players, including Fagans and Winters, who everybody on earth was recruiting. So, you know, this is just an example. Anquan New Boy Fagans, right? I mean, team captain at Thompson High. They won the 7A title. You know, career of over 234 tackles, 22 interceptions in high school. I mean, the guy's just a warrior.
Literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's his high school mascot.
Exactly. And I knew you'd pick up on that. And I just cannot see how Auburn can continue to stumble over itself like it has for 5 years now, with this injection and continued injection of high quality talent. This isn't just people that they're bringing in that, you know, you're an Auburn fan and you're going to say he's a beast, and because you want to build him up in your own mind, knowing good and well that these other teams have way more talent than you, like LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. Let's face it, Auburn fans, and embrace it and demand it. Auburn has as much talent defensively as almost every school now in the SEC.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the depth here in just a minute, but you're right. And Faith and I have talked about this probably for 3 days now on the podcast about the quality of the roster. You know, it's young, and Coach Freeze talked about that yesterday in his press conference after practice was over. Going down the line and talking about all these guys. He brought up Jared Smith. Faith knows how much I love Jared Smith.
Player.
He's been doing. Yeah, but they are young. There are some areas, and I'll kick to you, Faith, to kind of let you explain what we were talking about yesterday about the defensive line. They are really good. There are a lot of great players up there. there's not a lot of them. And when you add not a lot of them and most of them are young, that can be brutal in this league.
Yeah, we saw yesterday that when they were separating in their groups and everything, there's not a lot of them. And we've seen how one guy goes down, how are we filling in the gaps? Why we're moving everybody on the line around trying to fill in this spot, and that just creates so much confusion and causes so many just small little errors that end up being big errors in big time games that we easily could avoid by going out in the portal and getting somebody else to fill in that specific position. But yeah, there's just not a lot of them, and the guys that we do have, they're big. They are big guys, and we've not that we've really struggled with getting big guys like that, but this is the first time that I feel like the entire D line is like physically bigger,
size wise,
right? But that doesn't matter because people go down left and right. People make a wrong step or something. So it's important for us during this time before the season starts over there in the spring and in summer and everything, that we go back out there and we get some more guys that we can fill in to make our D line deeper and have actual secondaries.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the quality of what we have. I'm worried about the actual numbers, because it is a war of attrition up front. You're going to get banged up. You got to be able to rotate. You got to keep fresh bodies in there. And you can't drop off when, your ones go out and have to have a breather, and your twos, you really need to have 1A, 1B. And you have those guys rotating in and out, because fast-paced offenses now, it dictates that kind of pace. But going to have to get out in the portal, get some guys to help, some older guys. Coach Freese said that yesterday. He said, these guys, I love their energy, but he said they still make the wrong decision sometimes because they're young. And he said, but they have to play with a lot of effort to make up for some of that. So we'll kind of see that.
Real quick on that.
Yeah.
Brett and Faith, is Jordan Crawford on campus?
Oh yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Man.
Listen, with this run that we've had in basketball, I've honestly almost shelved Auburn football for a hot minute, which is weird to say, right? As a lifelong Auburn fan and especially football fan, but so I'm going to get caught up to speed best I can, and that's why you should too, out there listening. Stay with Auburn Blitz, you can get caught up to speed. But these type of kids like him can come in and immediately play. Now, I know that they're not going to be making all the right decisions, but for crying out loud, turn them loose. Turn them loose early. Get them some experience early and get them ready for the end of the season, because like you said, we're going to need them. And you know what? I'd rather turn some kids loose and just get real aggressive on defense and maybe make the occasional mistake, and instead of just shelving them on the bench and letting your defense fly and get worn down.
Yeah, I don't think – and correct me if you think I'm off, Faith. I don't think you have a choice. I don't think you have a choice that these guys are going to play. And Jordan Crawford, that's another one that Faith can attest that I have said over and over. She's probably tired of hearing me talk about Jordan Crawford and Jared Smith. But, those two guys were so dominant in high school. And, yeah, I've said this. Most people that have watched this before, when you look at Keldrick Fault versus Jared Smith, yeah, body-wise, it's two totally different things. Keldrick Fault, third year, being in a weight program, all that stuff, looks like you should look right now. Jared Smith's a young kid, graduated early, is on campus, very tall, got the potential, got to grow into his body, but it didn't affect his effort yesterday, making play after play after play on the field. And then, of course, Jordan Crawford, Faye, tell them about what a bowling ball that guy is, and what Kieran Crawford said about being one of the strongest guys he's ever gone up against.
Right. And Kieran saying that is saying something, because Kieran is he's a dog. I really like Kieran. But yeah, it's just crazy how big some of these guys are in their age too. Just all the freshman guys that have made it on campus so early, that came in January. Some of them obviously still need to put on some weight, but there are some of them where you look at when you saw them at the Super 7, Brett, in high school, and you
Right.
look at them now, some of them don't even look
No.
like the same kid.
They don't. They don't. You want a pipeline from good high schools too. And you see what
That's right.
You got Vodney Cleveland
That's where I was going with that too, Brett.
Yeah, I mean he's the teammate this year. He's going to be the guy everybody's watching for Parker this year, and again everybody's going to be vying for him. And to have Jordan Crawford here and for him to be a part of this team, having an impact, maybe we'll have a good steer for him to come to Auburn. Again, it comes down to us winning football games too. And Coach Free said that in the intro press conference before spring started. He said, look, we're getting things the way we need them. We just got to go win football games. He understands that. The fans know that. We all know what the elephant in the room is. We all this is great, but at the end of the day, we're going to be looking at the record. And the Las Vegas odds, I told yesterday, is 7.5 for Auburn wins. Is it going to be more than that, or is it going to be less than that? Where are you coming in on that, just in your mind, Wade, right now? I've got faith. I mean, she and I talked about it yesterday. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it all starts on that game that's been moved to Friday of Labor Day weekend out in Waco, Texas. And, I've had long discussions with people about this game against Baylor. And I have said that it's one of the most important football games in recent Auburn history. And people roll their eyes. They say, well, shouldn't we just expect to dominate a team like Baylor? And in the past, Auburn should have. But the past is the prologue now for this Tiger team. And it's been a long time since we've made a statement in a football game. And if they're going to get over that 7.5 and get to 8, 9, and even compete possibly to have any type of chance to go to Atlanta and get into the college football playoff, they're going to have to go out to Waco, Texas, and be sharp and take care of business, unlike what they did against California this year and really didn't do against California 2 years ago. And if we're walking out of that or turning, I don't know if y'all are going to that game, but I'm not. But if I'm heading to the pool Saturday morning for Labor Day weekend to fire up the grill, and that head of mine is a little hazy because I've stayed up talking Auburn fans off the ledge all night because we didn't take care of business against California. They're not going to get over 7.5 wins. It's too early for me to understand fully what that game matchup wise is going to be like and where Auburn's going to be coming out of summer practice. But to get to over 7.5, they're going to have to go out there and take care of business. And not only win the game, I don't want to hear about let's just win the game. It's time for Auburn football to throw down the gauntlet and make a statement. We're back, and do it out there in Waco, Texas.
Amen.
So when you've got the first, we've talked about the first 6 games being the most crucial. First 3 is hopefully gonna be 3 wins, and then you've got
the gauntlet.
Yeah, the back half of the first 6 games, where everyone's been saying if we go 3-3, Hugh's really going to be on the hot seat. Wade, I just want to hear what you have to say about the first 6 games.
All right, let's I think that right now Auburn's probably a slight favorite over Baylor.
Yep.
Sawyer Robertson, one of the better quarterbacks in the country, could give Auburn some real trouble. I just think that we have more talent than Baylor. Will they be psychologically ready to go? Then you host Ball State. That should be no problem. Let me tell you something. If they go down to Baylor in the 3rd week of the season when South Alabama comes to Auburn, to Jordan-Hare Stadium on September 13th, for homecoming, okay, that will be the Jaguars' all-time Super Bowl. So Auburn better be ready to rock and roll for that game as well. And then you get at Oklahoma, which I think Auburn's a better football team than. At Texas A&M, I think that they're just as good. That's a really tough place to play, but Auburn's had success there. And then October 11th, hosting Georgia. You know,
I'm tired of losing to them.
I am so sick and tired of losing to them. I was in LaGrange, Georgia yesterday for Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean, called Sensagreen, with a chamber event over there, and it's nothing but dogs over there, and they're hooting and they're hollering and they're barking and they're walking around with their chest poked out. And I can't say anything because we hadn't beaten them since 2017. Are you serious?
I think only 3 times in the last God knows how long. I've quit counting.
You know,
that's a joke.
And as much as basketball's been great, they're done. You know, whatever. We're glad y'all lost, even though it was to Florida.
We're football school. We're the real sport that matters. We're football.
Right. You know,
like you're just.
And then they bring up baseball because they swept us. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I've never even met a Georgia baseball fan in my life.
I mean, did they even know they had a team?
And so you know, anyway. It's a tough schedule. Look, man, I'll tell you what. Kind of brutal after Georgia is that you get Missouri coming to town.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not, am I reading this right? Where we don't have a bye? No, there's a bye in between Texas A&M and Georgia.
There's a bye between Texas A&M and Georgia.
Really good time to have one, but they've got to go 1-1 at Oklahoma. They got to take care of business first 3 games. I would probably say that's 60-40, and then they got to go 1-1. At least at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M. You can stub your toe a couple of times in SEC play and still make the college football playoffs.
No question. I think 9 wins is the number to be in consideration for the college football playoff, depending on what year it is. Obviously, last year was the first year of this, but you can be in contention, especially with a schedule like this. But I'm with y'all. I think, that sets the tone. And I'm going to be honest, running it out, I mean, you got to go to Fayetteville. You got Kentucky at home. You got to go to Vanderbilt, Mercer, and then Alabama. I mean, if you get through those first 6, 4-2, I mean, possibly 5-1 if you could get to that stretch. Yeah, I mean, you're on your way at that point. But 3-3, man, you can already hear it.
You're done.
You can just already hear it. I mean, and it's just, well, here we go again.
I think I will lose my ever-loving mind if we go 3-3.
I'm with you, Faith. I think the Auburn fan in general will lose their ever-loving mind, and they should.
If we lose against Georgia,
well, I mean, let's just be honest about this. I mean, and Georgia's going to have a good football team again because they just keep recruiting. But look, we've had our chances in the last several years on and off, and haven't been able to take to make the plays to win the games or whatever. But they've got some issues at quarterback. They've got some things. What's going to happen? I mean, can we got them at home? When's enough going to be enough? When are you going to say, look, man up, dude, and let's get back over the hump with this program? I mean, you can't just keep saying, well, they got another good football team this year. They're going to keep having good football teams. We got to figure out a way to beat them and get this thing back to some semblance of a rivalry because they've run away from us. And that's just the truth.
I mean, Georgia football is not going away under Kirby Smart.
No, it's not going away.
And the portal creates both opportunity and chaos for all football teams, and they're going to have their problems to manage as well. You get through the first 6 games, but we had the same conversation last year, and man, it just blew up in our face. But what if you get through the first 6 games and you're 5-1? Man, the second half of the season is great. I've got to take a quick look at Georgia's schedule, though, to see where they line up and who they play before they come to us. And they'll host Kentucky. Georgia actually, again, their first 2 games are a joke, but they've got week 3 at Tennessee, host Alabama, host Kentucky, and then they come to Auburn with a trip with Ole Miss looming. And so that looks like a good time for the Tigers to catch Georgia after a pretty tough little gauntlet and run. 3 SEC games before they come to Jordan-Hare, and then they got Ole Miss at home looming, who's a dangerous football team as well.
Right.
So, when you're looking at these games, it's more important now than ever to see where they fall and see if there's a bye week before someone plays you, or who's playing, the next week and the week before. I think it matters now more than ever with so many teams in the SEC. That looks like a good time for Auburn to catch Georgia if we've got our head screwed on straight.
I'm with you. Before we shift into talking a little bit about A-Day, I want to go back and talk about some of our partners here on the program. Faith, Oliver Ross, we can't say enough about them. They do a great job with your parties and gatherings, don't they?
Yeah, all the way from 20 people up to 20,000 people. They're certified bartenders and certified licensed bartenders. And if you're having a party, you don't want to be the one to worry about making sure everybody is taken care of when it comes to the drinks and everything. Have somebody do it for you. Don't walk around and spill all the drinks all over you, because that's just another thing that you don't want to worry about when you're hosting. So make sure you go ahead and call on Oliver Ross. Again, all the way from 20 people up to 20,000 people, whether it's a sorority date party, fraternity date party, they've got you covered, and they'll keep y'all right.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Call them 256-496-2212. Put that number in your phone for your next party or a corporate gathering. Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in educational projects, new school builds, renovations, all that good stuff. I don't know if there's nicer guys on the planet than these guys. You just want to hire them to handle your stuff because of their customer service and how much attention to detail they're going to spend on your project. They're going to make sure it's done correctly. They're going to hold people accountable, and that's what you want when you're building something and investing that kind of money. So call on Scout Program Management. They will hook you up. They will take care of you all the way through the end of the project. All right, let's go back. Ed said, one step further, Wade, go to Baylor and Walker White beats us. You might want to go straight to Lake Martin. Well, I don't think
that's not happening.
I don't think Walker White's going to play, first of all, but he could. I mean, we'll see, but I don't think he will. But I think at the end of the day, let's take it one at a time. And the Baylor game will set the tone, I think, for the mentality of this team. And I hate to put so much weight on one game, but I think the three of us all know this. And so, Faith and I are going to cover that game. We're excited about going out there, but by God, can we please come back with a freaking win? Can we just please get off on the right foot? I think that's what we're looking for. I think this program needs that, the mentality of it. And again, you come back and you should take care of business. And then you go on that next road trip after 3 games to Oklahoma and Texas A&M, which, by the way, the Oklahoma game is my birthday, so they better win that freaking game too. I don't want to be out there in Norman, Oklahoma, sitting there with egg all over our face, losing a dang game. Again, to a team that we should have blew out last year at home.
Run the ball. Excuse me, swallowed a bug.
Yeah, just finish the dang game. How about that? But we're set up. We're set up. Okay. I don't think this is some overburdening start to the season. You're going to have some tough games in there. You know that. That's just the nature of the schedule year in and year out. All right. What is everybody going to see at A-Day tomorrow? You're not going to see a lot. Coach Freeze talked about it yesterday. The end of the you're going to see a lot of one-on-one stuff, skeleton drill type stuff, but at the end, they're going to have a thing where they call red zone lockout. And basically it's defense versus offense. First team to 18 win. So, how's the points going to work? And Coach Freeze got on to everybody. He's like, do y'all have this point thing down? Don't come back and ask me how this thing's going to be scored. If offense scores, obviously they get 7 points, right? All right, if the defense stops the offense, they get 7 points. All right, and then if they hold the offense to a field goal, offense gets 3 points, defense gets 4 points. That's how it's going to ebb and flow. Whoever gets to 18 first wins, and then they're going to do like an end of at the very end, it's going to be like an OT period where they work on overtime stuff and all. But I think I'll go around the room. Faith, I'll start with you. Is this the death of A-Days as we know them? I think this probably, just my personal opinion, I think it is. What do you think?
I think it's the end of the spring games for all of college football. Um, Hugh yesterday said in his presser that he enjoys the format. It's a lot of teaching and walkthroughs and not as much of on the field hitting. So um, that's kind of what we've talked about with this new format of uh, you don't want to have somebody watch A Day going on and say, "Oh wow, I want to go get that guy," because they've got plenty of time to go and grab him. So it's a bummer now that it's not the same as it was, because it used to be a great fun thing for the Auburn family and just every college football team to go and watch their team, see what they are going to expect in the fall. And now it's just, okay, we're just going to sit and watch a kind of almost like a practice. It's not going to
That's what
be
it's going to
anything.
be.
Yeah, and it's going to be there's more events and stuff for families, for that kind of, to bring people in still and have them come, but it's not football based anymore like it was.
I'm going to build on that, Faith. I'm with you. Not only do I think that this is the end, for the most part, of the current or the past system of 8A games for any football program, I believe it's basically the beginning of the end for spring practice as we know it or have known it. These coaches, I said that a few years ago and got a couple of people scoffing on some local radio stations, but you don't want to showcase any of your talent. You don't want anybody to get injured. I believe that spring practice will be more along the lines of just hardcore working out now and getting ready for the summer, and for recruiting, because the recruiting calendars change so much, and for going out in whatever portal system that they come up with. I would not be shocked if these coaches are human too. I know they make gobs of money, but they're tired of this current calendar basically tying them 24/7, 365 working. It used to be you had your fall, you recruited, you had your spring, 8A kicked it all off, and everyone was gone minus Nick Saban, except out on the recruiting trail for a long time. And they got a big break. And then they came back in, and all the freshmen reported in the summer, and summer workouts began, and then summer practice began, and then it started all over again. You're going to see a schedule of spring practice that's almost non-existent in the next couple of years if they continue with this current schedule of recruiting in the portal window.
Yeah, Coach Freeze didn't hide it yesterday. He said, "Look, I'd rather them just move this thing to June." He said, "We've got guys that are hurt, that are coming off the season that we don't have back, don't get a chance to see them. They get no work." And so he says, put us in pads first couple of weeks of June, and let's get after this thing. And, look, everything else in college football's changed. Why not change that too? I mean, almost everything we've all known as tradition and as givens are over. I mean, all that is in the past. So, but look, go and support. It's free. It should be a pretty day tomorrow in Auburn. Looking forward to it. I'll be there. So I'll give my thoughts on it. I'll do a little quick thing after it's over, a reaction on our page, and kind of get everybody's thoughts. As I'll go live on that and just kind of give a breakdown of what we saw out there if you're not able to make it to the game, guys. All right, I know we're up against the end. Here on a Friday, again, Wade, we appreciate you being part of the program, dude. We need you on more. I know you're busy, you're all over the place. We appreciate Sense of Green more than you know, brother.
Yeah, well, it's a great company, and we're thrilled to be partnered with you guys here at the Auburn Blitz and on the daily show. Tremendous feedback from clients and potential customers all around. Auburn people tuning in from everywhere. Just go to sensegreen.com. I promise we'll take care of you for heating, cooling, and insulation. Get HVAC smart. And, man, anytime, man, just hit me up. I'll make the time. I love coming on the show. It's a fantastic show. And I'm telling you, local business leaders, if you've been on the fence about teaming up with Auburn Blitz and marketing and advertising, get off the fence and get involved, because it's made a tremendous difference in our company. and the amount of revenue we've been able to bring in and the people we can reach. And I really appreciate it, guys, as well.
Wade, appreciate you, brother, and love to hear that. That's what this whole thing's about. It's partnerships. It's not, you paying us to run an ad. We want to build a unifying partnership, and we appreciate that. I want to hit a couple more of our partners before we go out. Old Number One Customs. Appreciate them just joining us last week. If you're looking at renovating your kitchen or your bathroom, all you guys out there, tax season, you're gonna get some refunds back. Your wife's been on your rear end about getting that kitchen remodeled and your bathroom. Well, just go ahead and do it. Quit waiting around and quit taking the beating from your wife about it. Just go ahead and surprise her and say, we're going to do this. They can be in and out of your house in 2 weeks.
Don't DIY it for 2 years. Do it in 2 weeks with custom. Seriously.
That can they just caption that statement and use that as their motto now?
That's a good one.
Jake may call you on that, Faith. He may get that one. So Old Number One Customs for your remodels and 0% financing. They'll take care of you. And JFA Blue Plumbing. We talk about pure water, healthy, clean water for not only you but your kids, your family, your pets. Everybody needs to be drinking clean water. They can install the Atlas Duo whole home water filter for $15.99. 0% down, 0% APR. Call them, get them to do that. I promise you will thank us for hooking you up with JFA Blue Plumbing. Faith, this number here is about as easy to remember as anything. 844-JFA Blue. Okay? 844-JFA Blue to get in touch with JFA Blue Plumbing. All right, guys. Great stuff as always. Wade, again, thank you so much for being with us here on the podcast this morning. We hope to have you back soon, brother.
Yep, sounds wonderful. Just hit me up anytime. Look forward to getting back on the daily show sometime soon on a Friday. And War Eagle, everybody, let's have a great spring ending to football, whatever you want to call it. And it's Masters weekend, so I think it's going to be a great one.
Wade, appreciate you, brother.
All right.
See you, brother. All right. Wrapping everything up, not wiping it up, wrapping everything up. Faith, we'll get some reports this weekend. I know you won't be here, but I will. And then we'll be back on Monday for more fun stuff on the Auburn Blitz podcast. So looking forward to it. You have a safe trip. Y'all have fun this weekend.
Thank you. Well, I hope everybody has the best day ever, and keep up with our socials at 12 o'clock. I've got my On the Front Row with Faith with Sarah Hubbard coming out, so make sure you go and watch that at 12. And I hope everyone has the best day ever.
Best day ever and a big old
War Eagle.